Don't have to put it on a little deeper.
5?
Can you just like set it going? Alright, 10.
There you go.
Am I going?
Yes, you're on.
Ah, my last one, you tell me. We drove 60 miles today, and we saw two very important things that I want to talk about. Number one, we're starting to see a lot of Trump signs. We didn't see near as many as what were usually there. And it's only a couple of weeks before the election. Today is the 22nd. So there's 1 week in this month left and 1 week in next month left and the election. Normally 2 weeks before the election, you're seeing signs all over the place of both parties. But now this is what we saw. We saw huge signs. I mean, we haven't seen any signs this big ever about any candidate ever. We are seeing 4x8 Trump signs, and we saw a lot of them. And people are starting to get enthusiastic about Trump, but very late. Normally, at the 1st of October, you're seeing these signs. Okay, so, but now the other thing I want you to know, the other important thing that I want to tell you about is that in that 60 miles that we drove, and we didn't drive just through the country. We drove through a fairly large city, and we saw no Hillary signs. We saw none in the country. We saw none in the city. I saw one up that way probably a month or so ago, and somehow it disappeared. So, but in that same area, man, we've seen there is 1,000% more Trump signs here in Indiana than there is Hillary signs. But now I haven't been to the other states. I know that Ohio is liberal and Illinois is liberal. I haven't been over there. I don't know what's over there. But it seems to me, at least while I was here in Indiana, that what the media has tried to do, which is scare people into not showing their patriotism this year. And I've got a thing on about that. On the back of my car, I got a Trump Pence sign that says, "Prove your love for your country. Don't let the media scare you." And on the other side, I have one for Holcomb, who is running for governor of Indiana. So, but what I wanted to talk to you about, and I say prove them wrong. You really want to support. If you really want to support Trump, prove it. Yeah, these two. It's like this, And now the Lord Jesus, he was a patriot. He was concerned, but now he didn't teach his people to fight physically, only to protect themselves. Okay, they carried swords. Hey, do you have any swords? And he was instructing people to get swords, but to protect themselves, protect what they have. He did the same thing when he ran the temple. He ran people out, or when he went in the temple, he ran people out with a whip. He protected what was his. And he wants us to do that. And I want to show you a couple places where Jesus actually did show patriotism for the land. Okay? And I put on a prophecy today about something that the Lord has told me for the past at least the past 4 years. And even it went back a little bit further than that. No, actually I think it's been about right at exactly 4 years. So let me bring this up, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. And then we're going to go to some scriptures, if I can get to that real quick. I've already killed 5 minutes here. And we're going to see that Jesus was a patriot, okay? Just like a lot of us. With my proud to be deplorable. You know, and that says a mouthful right there. So I got to go down here, going down, and one of the things that Christ talked about was he gave instructions to people about Caesar. Okay, and we're going to go look at that verse. Okay. If I be a prophet of God, 3 things I know that I have heard from God, 4 to be sure. Number 1, I've said this stuff is coming about this election. These things seem to be what God is telling me is everything is going to take place right around this election coming up. Donald J. Trump will rise to a place of power. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, Hillary Rodham Clinton will sign a confession that on a scale of 1 to 10 will be a 300. She will go to jail. She will turn her face to the wall and never be heard from again. Number 3, the GOP is done for. They will fall and not get up. These things I've heard from the Lord. These things I have heard from the Lord. The God that made heaven and earth. Now I know these things just like you know the sun's coming up tomorrow. I know these things. And if it's cloudy, go peek through the clouds. It'll be on the other side. Number 4, the military will be involved in the turnover of this election. From the going out of the Obama administration, the military will have to be involved. Not just the military, but the police force. The police. There will be at least 2 police officers that will have to escort Obama out of the White House. Are you hearing what I'm saying? The police force in Washington, D.C., they will have to escort this Muslim president out of the White House. Okay, and that seems to be exactly what I have heard from God. Okay? Now there's quite a bit there, but you can go on my Facebook and you can friend me, send me a friend request on Facebook. My name on here is simply Steve Farmer. That's all it says, Steve Farmer. And I've got a picture of the Lord Jesus in the background, and off to the side of the Lord's picture is a face of like the devil. And then on the corner picture I've got a picture of my wife and myself. Okay, let's go through this real quick because I've already got I've got almost 10 minutes here. Okay, so just a couple of verses. Go ahead and kill that, babe. Mark 12:17. NIV says, then Jesus said to them, give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. And they were amazed. Now, and because they had asked him a trick question, and so Christ gave them a lesson in Christianity in serving God, and he also gave them a lesson in patriotism. You know, you got to be faithful to, excuse me, the land or the place where you are living. And if Caesar requires you to pay taxes, then you pay taxes, because tax is what helps the place to survive. But then, you know, we need to have, that's why we set up our laws the way we do. We need to have a say in all that is going on in that. Okay, now listen to this. Luke 13:31. The same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying to him, Get thee out and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee. And he said to them, Go ye and tell that fox. See, the Lord wasn't just he had an opinion about the government. You know what I'm saying? This tells us right here, Jesus had an opinion about the government. And if anybody that knew Christ in that day knew that Christ's opinion was shared openly. He says, go tell that old fox, you know, in our language of today. He says, behold, or look at me, or watch me, or keep an eye on. Behold, like, I cast out devils, and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected. Nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet perish out of Jerusalem. And he was pointing there to the things of God. We need to keep those things of God involved in our political process. We need to keep those things. And that's what he was saying. Go tell this old fox what I'm getting ready to do. And we need to keep ourselves involved in the political process. I can't believe pastors and preachers and evangelists, they have allowed America to become so lax in being involved in our political process. Everything is fine. Everything is, no matter what they throw at us, roll over in a ditch and play dead. That is not the Jesus. Listen, if you're Jesus, if you are a Christian, you're Jesus-like. Get involved. Get involved. These are the signs that I'm seeing. I'm seeing signs everywhere that God is getting ready to move. He says, I will not do nothing until I say something to my prophets first. All that you're seeing is about the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. All right, God bless. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Another great message. Us in the middle of ministry.